Let's kick this off loud, bold, and absolutely not like some ancient fairy tale. Because today, we're diving straight into the electric battlefield of the BTS stage. A place where spotlights hit like lightning and charisma decides who captures every pair of eyes in the arena. This isn't about who sings the highest notes or who has the most lines. Nope, this is the kingdom where presence alone can silence a crowd of 50,000. And trust me, each member brings a different flavor. Some explode like fireworks, some slice through the atmosphere with quiet intensity, and others just walk out and the whole stadium forgets how to breathe. But before we go naming names, you need to understand one thing. Charisma isn't something you can fake. It leaks out through body language, micro-expressions, the way someone holds a mic, even how they stand still between beats. And BTS? They're basically a living encyclopedia of stage magnetism. Behind the scenes, they're known for obsessively perfecting the smallest details, how to angle their chins under red lighting, how to flick fingertips so it catches a camera at the perfect moment, how to read the energy of an arena like a conductor reading an orchestra. Their staff always say that what we see on stage is only 10% of the preparation. They literally rehearse breathing patterns for dramatic effect. Oh yes, it gets that intense. But that's exactly why fans love trying to rank them. Each comeback shifts the dynamic. Maybe one member suddenly steals the spotlight with a hair flip. Maybe another goes viral for a smirk during a dance break. Maybe one just stands there looking like living CGI and the internet collapses. And honestly, arguing about stage charisma in BTS fandom is kind of a tradition. Half the time it turns into chaos because nobody can agree, and the other half of the time people pretend to be calm while aggressively defending their bias. But hey, today we're not here to start a war. Well, maybe a tiny one, a friendly mini battle, the kind that ends with people laughing, not blocking each other. So buckle up, because we're counting down the members of BTS ranked purely by the energy they unleash under the spotlight. No spoilers yet, just keep your eyes open and your bias ready, because you might be surprised who ends up dominating the stage when the lights hit just right.
Number 7. The unpredictable quiet blaze. You know that one person in a group who looks totally calm, almost too calm, and then suddenly does something on stage that makes everyone in the audience collectively choke on their own oxygen? Yeah, this spot belongs to that member, the quiet blaze, the one you underestimate for 2 seconds and immediately regret it. His kind of charisma isn't the loud, explosive, I own this stage and I will destroy everything in my path type. Nope. His power works like an unexpected earthquake. Silent, subtle, but enough to send shockwaves through your spine the moment he decides, okay, it's my turn. What makes him land on number 7 isn't a lack of impact, it's the fact that his intensity is more like a rare event. It appears suddenly, hits hard, and then disappears before you fully understand what just happened. And honestly, that's part of the charm. There's something almost comedic about watching him backstage looking soft, cozy, and maybe even half asleep, then watching him switch modes on stage like someone pressed his internal turbo button. His transition is so abrupt that even the other members sometimes laugh because where did that come from? You'll see him doing something tiny, like adjusting his in-ear or shrugging his shoulders, and somehow it looks dramatic enough to be a teaser trailer. And don't get me started on the moments when he accidentally steals the camera's attention. He's not even trying, he's just existing. And yet the cameraman suddenly decides, yes, this one. This is the shot that will make half the fandom lose their voice. His dance style is sharp but minimalistic, with this precision that makes every movement look intentional even when it's not. He's the kind of performer who, when he hits a pose, looks like a statue sculpted exactly for that 1 millisecond. And that's the thing, he lives in milliseconds. Not broad gestures, not big dramatic showmanship, no. His charisma operates on microseconds and micro movements, and if you blink, you might miss the exact frame that makes him iconic. But when you don't blink, oh, it hits hard. Suddenly the stadium lights flash, the camera zooms in, and you see the tiniest smirk, the slightest eyebrow raise, and boom, viral moment. Fans start replaying that 0.3-second clip like it's a national treasure. Even funnier, he never seems fully aware of the chaos he creates. He'll exit the stage with this innocent, confused look like, why is everyone screaming? And fans worldwide are like, sir, you know what you did. His charisma is accidental, but deadly. It's the kind of charm that works even better because he doesn't force it. And maybe that's why he stands out. He's proof that stage presence isn't only performance, it's aura. Some idols need to roar to dominate the spotlight, but this member? He just breathes, blinks, moves an inch, and the entire audience tilts their heads like, wait, hold up, did you see that? And that unpredictability is exactly what makes his stage charisma feel like a quiet blaze. It doesn't scream, it simmers, builds pressure, and erupts in these sudden bursts that fans replay in slow motion, trying to figure out how something so small can cause such large-scale emotional damage. He's the calm before the storm, the soft face hiding a momentary menace, the gentle presence that suddenly becomes sharp enough to slice through the spotlight. And whether he realizes it or not, that contrast is what puts him on this list. Not as the loudest performer, but as the one whose charisma hits you when you least expect it, leaving you wondering how someone so silent can make such a loud impact. Whenever you're ready for the next one, just say Lanjut number 6.
Number 6. The sharp-edged scene stealer. There's a special kind of performer whose charisma doesn't rely on mystery or unpredictability. No, this one hits with precision. Clean, sharp, almost weaponized. Number 6 is the member whose stage presence feels like he rehearsed not just the choreography, but the physics of how charisma travels through air. Every move looks calculated, not in a robotic way, but in the, oh wow, he actually understands camera angles better than the camera itself kind of way. This is the guy who steps on stage and instantly adjusts his shoulders, jawline, and posture like someone who has spent years observing what makes a performer visually magnetic. And the funniest part? He probably has. His stage charisma is like a razor blade dipped in glitter, dangerous but fabulous. When he dances, there's this slicing quality to his movements, like he's physically carving the beat out of the air. His lines are clean, his angles hit perfectly on the downbeat, and somehow he makes even a simple step look like a power move engineered in a lab. You know that feeling when someone pulls off a move so smooth you're not even sure how their joints allowed it? That's him, constantly making fans question the structural integrity of the human skeleton. What separates him from the rest is that he doesn't just perform choreography, he projects it. His charisma is directional. It goes outward, aimed like a spotlight he controls with his body. When he does a turn, his head snaps so precisely that the camera practically autofocuses on instinct. The man is a living motion tracking system. But here's where it gets entertaining. Sometimes he gets too sharp, too intense, and the members beside him start laughing backstage because the contrast is insane. Before the show, he's the chill guy, cracking jokes, rubbing sleep from his eyes, looking like someone who needs a warm blanket and a cup of tea. And then, bam, stage mode activates. Suddenly, he's slicing through choreography like an anime character doing a serious mode power-up. It's almost comical. Fans joke that he has a hidden switch somewhere behind his ear because the transformation is too flawless to be human. And don't get me started on the expressions. Number 6 doesn't just give face, he weaponizes it. That smirk? Calculated. That intense stare? Calculated. The moment where he bites his lip and looks into the crowd like he knows exactly what he's doing to thousands of hearts? Absolutely, 100% calculated. But here's the shocky twist. Half the time, he's not actually planning it. He just naturally has the kind of face that turns normal expressions into dramatic weapons. You give him one camera and half a second, and he turns it into a scene from a music video. And the camera operators know this. They wait for him, zoom in on him, rely on him to deliver a precise expression at the perfect moment because he rarely misses a beat. It's almost unfair how consistent he is. Even when he messes up, yes, it happens, he somehow turns the mistake into a moment. Maybe he slips a little, maybe he rotates too fast, maybe he catches the wrong light. But instead of breaking character, he leans into it, makes it part of the show, corrects it in a heartbeat. It's the kind of professionalism that screams, yeah, I came prepared. He's got years of dance training baked into his bones, and it shows. He knows how to use space, how to shape movement, how to control his breath so that even the transitions look cinematic.
And whenever he hits a move with full force, you can practically feel the ripple effect travel through the stage floor. And yet, despite all that sharpness, he doesn't overshadow the others. That's what makes him so fascinating. He's intense, but he knows how to blend when needed. He's powerful, but he never hogs the spotlight. Instead, he amplifies it. He enhances to formation, strengthens the group dynamic, and creates balance on stage. His charisma is a polished blade, but he never uses it selfishly. He knows exactly when to strike and when to soften. And that kind of self-awareness, that's stage mastery. That's why he sits comfortably at number 6. Sharp enough to dominate the spotlight when he wants to, but controlled enough to support the overall performance like a true professional. He's the member who doesn't shout for attention. He earns it. Cleanly, precisely, effortlessly. And trust me, we're just getting warmed up. When you're ready, say Lanjut number 5.
Number 5, the charisma that sneaks up and hits like a truck. There's a special breed of performer whose presence doesn't announce itself with fireworks or thunder. No, this one creeps up on you slowly, calmly, almost politely. And then at some point you realize you've been staring at him for the last 30 seconds without blinking. That's number 5. His charisma works like a stealth attack. Subtle at first, then boom. Suddenly, he's all you can focus on. It's the kind of stage presence that doesn't smack you in the face immediately, but once it locks onto you, good luck escaping. Fans don't even choose him. They just suddenly wake up one day like, why is this man haunting my mind? His style on stage feels smooth, not the sharp, clean precision of number 6, and not the explosive unpredictability of number 7. This one is different, fluid, persuasive, almost hypnotic. He moves like music itself is flowing through his limbs, not like he's following choreography, but like he's negotiating with the beat in real time and the beat is losing the negotiation. There's a looseness, a swing, a natural groove that makes even the simplest shoulder roll look illegal. And trust me, fans have opinions about those shoulder rolls. His secret weapon is that he doesn't try too hard. Nope. His charisma is like, yeah, I just exist, and apparently that's enough. And for some reason, it works. It works way too well. What makes him land on number 5 is the combination of confidence and unpredictability, but in a completely different flavor from number 7. This man looks relaxed even when doing the hardest choreo. He'll be mid-performance, hair sticking to his forehead from sweat, chest heaving from dancing full out for 10 minutes straight, and yet his face looks like he just walked onto the stage for fun, like this is his natural habitat. And maybe it is. There's something about the way he owns the space around him. He doesn't dominate it aggressively, he just expands into it. He makes the stage feel like his living room. Fans can practically hear him saying, yeah, welcome to my zone. And once he's in his zone, it's over. The way he pops his chest, the way his feet glide across the stage, the way he hits a beat with just the right amount of force, it's all wrapped in this signature smoothness that makes the whole performance look effortless. Meanwhile, everyone watching is like, sir, why does this look so easy? Why do you move like your joints are dipped in butter? It's almost comedic how natural he makes everything look. And speaking of comedy, let's talk about his facial expressions. This man has accidental stage flirtation. He's not doing it on purpose. He'll stare into the crowd with this zoned-out, relaxed look, and fans interpret it as a seductive gaze that pierces the soul. He's genuinely just vibing, probably thinking about food or sleep, and everyone watching is like, I can't breathe. One of his most iconic traits is how he unintentionally turns relaxed into dangerous. You think he's chilling, then suddenly he hits a move so clean, so smooth, so rhythmically perfect that you feel it in your spine. He doesn't need to smirk, but when he does, instant chaos. The meme potential is endless. Half of his fan cams are just him switching between confused baby penguin and mysterious stage menace every 3 seconds. And fans just accept this emotional whiplash as part of the package. Another thing, this man can eat camera close-ups alive without even trying.
Some idols prepare expressions, angles, poses. But number 5, he just exists. The camera points at him, and suddenly it becomes a cinematic scene. His eyes, sharp but gentle. His jawline, a weapon. His subtle smirk, a global threat. And his habit of glancing sideways, devastating. Cameramen love him because he's smooth and has this, "Oh, you want a close-up? Sure, I'll give you a close-up while dancing full speed without breaking character." That's commitment. And the funniest part, as soon as the music ends, he switches right back into his soft, slightly clueless, very innocent default self. The duality is so strong that fans genuinely wonder if he's possessed by a groove-loving ghost during performances. But that duality is exactly why he's unforgettable. He's like a walking roller coaster, calm one second, dangerously cool the next. He's the performer who gives you charisma without forcing it, coolness without overacting, charm without drama. And that balance, natural, smooth, and faith-shaking, is what makes him sit perfectly at number 5. Not the loudest, not the sharpest, but the one whose rhythm slips under your skin and stays there long after the song ends. Whenever you're ready to keep going, just say, "Lanjut number 4.
Number 4. The born-to-lead stage commander. Some performers don't just walk onto a stage, they enter it like they're stepping into their natural ecosystem, like the lights, the smoke, the roaring crowd, and the ground beneath their feet all recognize them as the rightful owner. That's number 4. This is the member whose stage charisma radiates leadership even when he's not trying to lead anything. He could be standing at the side, waiting for his turn, and somehow your eyes still drift towards him because he has that main character energy built directly into his DNA. It's not loud, it's not forced, and it's definitely not accidental. This is the charisma of someone who has been performing, guiding, and owning the atmosphere for years. The best way to describe his stage presence? Commanding. Not dominating, not overshadowing, commanding, in the sense that he understands how to take control of a moment with a simple gesture. A hand wave, a head tilt, a step forward, a spin, everything feels intentional. Everything carries weight. Everything says, "Yes, I'm here, pay attention." And people do, instantly. But let's be clear, his command doesn't come from being the loudest or the flashiest. It comes from experience, years of learning how to read a room, how to feel a beat, how to communicate emotion with just his posture. Before he even opens his mouth or starts dancing, his mere stance says he knows what he's doing. And this confidence isn't arrogance, it's the natural confidence of someone who has been performing, guiding, and owning the atmosphere for years. The moment the music starts, he becomes a completely different creature from the calm, sometimes soft, sometimes silly version fantasy backstage. On stage, he's focused, strong, intentional. The duality is drastic enough to cause emotional damage because one second you're looking at a man who laughs at dad jokes and makes goofy hand gestures, and the next you're staring at a performer who looks like he could command a stadium army with one intense stare. And let's talk about that stare. This man's eyes have their own fan base. He has that leader-like gaze that communicates 10 things at once: intensity, determination, a bit of mischief, and a whole lot of "don't blink or you'll miss something." When he looks into the camera, he doesn't just look, he channels. It feels like he's trying to deliver a message directly into your soul, and you just have to hope your soul has enough storage capacity to handle it. His expressions aren't exaggerated, they're controlled. Subtle raises of the eyebrows, the tightening of his jaw when the chorus hits, the soft but deadly smirk during dance breaks, everything is crafted with the precision of someone who's been performing, guiding, and owning the atmosphere for years. And he has. Experience is his power. If the choreography is complex, he makes it look stable.
If the choreography is slow and emotional, he becomes poetic. If the choreography is aggressive, he becomes the embodiment of force. But his biggest weapon isn't just his dance, it's the way he carries himself. He has this grounded, stable energy, like he's anchoring the entire performance. Even when the formation moves, even when the stage is chaotic, he stays centered, the eye of the storm. That's why fans rely on him during live stages. They know that no matter what happens, a lighting glitch, a slippery floor, a missed cue, he will stay calm, adjust, and keep the performance seamless. He's the type who notices when things go wrong and quietly fixes them mid-performance without breaking character. A true commander. And here's the funny part. Despite having this strong stage era, offstage, he's often the one cracking jokes, trying to act cool and failing adorably, or making weird faces at the camera. The contrast is so intense that fans often joke, who gave him permission to switch personalities like that? But that's exactly what makes him magnetic. His charisma isn't just strength, it's transformation. The shift is so drastic and so smooth that it feels like he has a dedicated stage persona stored in a hidden folder, and he double-clicks it right before stepping into the spotlight. And his vocals? Oh, don't even get started on the vocals. His voice on stage cuts through the noise with clarity, emotion, and authority. You can hear years of discipline in the way he supports his sound, hits notes effortlessly, and still manages to keep perfect facial control for the camera. It's the kind of professionalism that makes fans proud, emotional, and slightly terrified in the best way. Add his dance control, his ability to own the center position, his natural leadership era, and his unmatched presence during intense parts of the choreography, and you get a performer who feels like the glue holding the stage together. He's the dependable force, the anchor, the unshakable pillar. And that's why he sits at number 4, the stage commander who leads without announcing it, who captivates without forcing it, and who carries charisma like a mantle he was born to wear. When you're ready to keep climbing, just say, Lanjut nomor 3.
Number 3. The magnetic wildcard who owns chaos. Some performers shine because they're polished. Some stand out because they're graceful. But number 3, oh, this one shines because he brings pure, glorious chaos to the stage and somehow makes it look like a cinematic masterpiece. This is the member whose charisma feels like a wild spark that refuses to be contained. He's unpredictable in the best possible way. He steps onto the stage with this energy that screams, I'm here, I'm loud, and I'm about to make this performance unforgettable intentionally or accidentally. And the crowd absolutely eats it up. Number 3 is the definition of a magnetic wildcard. When he performs, it feels like every cell in his body wakes up at once and starts vibrating at a frequency only stadium speakers can understand. His movements are big, bold, expressive, like he's determined to make sure the person sitting in the very last row, behind 6 heads, a banner, and an army bomb, can still feel his energy. He doesn't just dance, he attacks the choreography with this passionate ferocity that makes every beat feel like it was composed specifically for his personality. There's this rawness to his stage presence, a kind of emotional transparency that breaks through the choreography's technicality. He doesn't hide his expressions, he exaggerates them. He doesn't soften his gestures, he pushes them to the edge. And this is exactly why he lands so high on the list, because charisma isn't supposed to feel safe. It's supposed to feel alive, and he is very, very alive on stage. What's so fascinating about watching him is that you can literally see the electricity running through him. He's explosive, not in a messy way, but in a way that feels like he was born to perform on giant stages under blinding lights with tens of thousands of fans screaming his name. And the funniest part? He knows it. He absolutely knows it. There's a certain confidence he carries, this swagger that's playful rather than arrogant. He teases the camera, he engages the crowd, he does tiny little gestures that fan cameras zoom into like they're studying rare wildlife footage. A wink? Chaos. A smirk?
internet shutdown, a single hair flip, emotional destruction. He does it intentionally sometimes, but a lot of the time, he's just vibing so hard he forgets that millions of people are watching. And that, ironically, makes him even more charismatic. His unpredictability is part of the charm. One moment, he's dancing like a firework, a full-body explosion of movement, and the next moment, he suddenly freezes into a deadly still pose that feels even more powerful because of the contrast. He'll switch from fierce intensity to mischievous charm in a heartbeat, and fans are not emotionally prepared for this kind of whiplash. But what really sets him apart is how expressive he is. He doesn't just use his eyes. He uses his eyebrows, his grin, his jaw tension, even the way his tongue pokes out slightly when he gets too into the performance. His expressions are like a second choreography layered on top of the actual one. It's a whole show within the show. And the cameras? Oh, the cameras love him. He has this natural instinct for finding the lens. Even when he's not looking directly at the camera, he angles his body, tilts his chin, or shifts his shoulders in ways that make every shot look perfectly intentional. Stage directors know this, which is why he often gets the most dramatic angles, the low-angle shots, the wide shots, the slow-motion replays. He just fits them. But here's the hilarious twist. Offstage, this man is a chaos gremlin, a lovable, slightly ridiculous, often hyperactive ball of energy who trips over air and makes weird noises for no reason, and fans adore him for that. Because watching him transform from goofy roommate energy to stage-devouring legend is honestly one of the most satisfying dualities in the group. You never know which version of him is coming next, and you definitely never know what he's planning on stage. And yet, beneath the mischief, there's undeniable professionalism. He takes performing seriously. You can see it in the way he hits every move with heart, the way he uses every corner of the stage, the way he pours emotion into every line. The man doesn't hold back, ever. Even when he's tired, even when he's sweating buckets, even when the choreography is brutal, he still gives it everything. And fans can feel that passion radiating from him. His charisma is messy in the most beautiful way. Emotional, raw, unfiltered. It doesn't feel practiced. It feels lived. Like he isn't performing at you, he's performing with you, through you, to you. And that's why he sits at number 3. Because he brings the kind of stage presence that grabs your attention, shakes it around, and refuses to let go. He's the wild card whose chaos turns into art, the performer who makes even a tiny movement feel alive, the unstoppable burst of energy that transforms every stage into his playground. When you're ready for the next spotlight dominator, just say, Lanjut number 2. Number 2, the elegantly dangerous scene devourer. There are performers who shine because they're powerful, and then there are performers who shine because they're unavoidable. Number 2 belongs in the second category. He's the kind of artist whose stage charisma feels like it's wrapped in velvet, smooth, refined, graceful, but underneath that softness lies a blade sharp enough to cut the entire arena into silence. His presence is elegant, yes, but it's also dangerous. Not loud dangerous, not chaotic dangerous. No, it's the slow, seductive, I know exactly what I'm doing and I know it's working kind of dangerous. That's the charm that has earned him a permanent residence near the top of any charisma ranking. When he steps onto the stage, something shifts in the atmosphere. It's like the lights dim just a little differently. The air thickens and the audience unconsciously holds its breath. Even before he moves, his silhouette alone already has a gravitational pull. He carries himself with this regal composure, spine aligned, shoulders relaxed, chin slightly lifted, like he knows every camera in the room is already waiting for him. And honestly, they are. Cameramen adore him because he doesn't chase the camera chases him. He's magnetic in the quietest, most luxurious way possible. His dance style is a blend of grace and precision. He doesn't slice through the air like number 6 or explode like number 3. He glides. Every move feels like it's dipped in honey, smooth, controlled, continuous. Even when the choreography is aggressive, he performs it with this fluid artistry that makes the entire sequence look like a beautifully crafted film scene. His turns are clean, his transitions seamless, and the way he uses his arms? Devastating. He could just raise a hand or brush his hair back and the crowd goes feral. The secret behind his charisma is how he stretches time. That sounds dramatic, but it's true. He has a unique ability to slow down or speed up the energy around him with micro movements, like a perfectly timed head tilt, a slow blink, or that signature lip bite that fans are still recovering from. He's mastered the art of anticipation. He lets moments breathe just long enough before hitting the next beat, creating this delicious tension that makes fans whisper, "Oh no." And at that point, the "oh no" means "oh yes." One of his biggest weapons is his face. His expressions are so detailed, so refined, it's like they were designed for HD cameras. He knows how to angle his jaw for intensity, how to soften his eyes during emotional parts, how to smirk just slightly during dance breaks, and, this is important, how to shift between these expressions effortlessly. Nothing feels forced, nothing feels exaggerated. It's all precise, intentional artistry. It's almost terrifying how good he is at it. But here's where the comedic twist comes in. Offstage, this guy is often the opposite of elegant. Fans know this, the members know this, the universe knows this. He's soft, dorky, clumsy in the cutest way, and sometimes gets so shy he hides behind his hands like a kid caught doing something embarrassing. And that's exactly why his stage transformation is so shocking. One moment he's giggling and messing around, and the next he's staring into the camera like he's about to steal your entire soul collection. People genuinely question how one human can transform this drastically. It feels illegal. The duality is insane. His vocals also amplify his stage charisma. His voice is expressive, emotional, and steady. When he sings live, he pours sincerity into every syllable, and you can feel the emotion even if you don't understand the lyrics. There's resonance in his voice, a warmth mixed with intensity that makes his performance feel personal and intimate. Even in huge arenas where the sound is booming and the crowd is deafening, his voice cuts through like a spotlight in the dark. And let's not forget his ability to adapt. He switches between fierce charisma, soft sensuality, emotional vulnerability, and playful charm depending on the song. He's versatile, he's adaptable. He's dangerous because you never know which version of him you'll get, but you always know it's going to hit hard. Another thing that puts him so high on this list is how he interacts with the audience. He doesn't have to do much, just a glance, a wave, a tiny smile, and the stadium erupts. He knows how to acknowledge the crowd without breaking his stage character, which is a level of balance most performers struggle with. He creates emotional connection without losing artistic intention. That is charisma mastery. His stage presence isn't loud, chaotic, or aggressive. It's controlled, intentional, and devastatingly effective. Like a quiet storm rolling over the horizon, subtle at first, then suddenly overwhelming. He's the kind of performer who doesn't need fireworks because he is the firework. Beautiful, bright, and impossible to look away from. And that's why he sits comfortably at number 2, the performer who devours the stage with elegance, who commands attention without demanding it, and who proves that charisma doesn't have to be noisy to be absolutely unforgettable. Whenever you're ready for the final Spotlight King, just say, Oneshot number 1.
Number 1. The unshakable center. The Spotlight's true master. We've reached the top of the list, and if you followed the journey from number 7 to number 2, you'll have noticed competitors at this level aren't just good idols, they are a stage phenomenon. But in this top position, there is one name that even among legends still feels different. Someone who, if you just step, it feels like the whole room instantly tightens the focus, which, when staring at the camera for a split second, is as if the entire stadium suddenly goes into slow-motion review mode because everyone wants to capture that moment perfectly.
And yes, he is Jungkook. Jungkook is not just a visual center or golden boy thanks to his advantageous position in the formation. From the debut, fans have realized that his stage aura is not the result of hard training, although his training is crazy, but there is a combination that other performers rarely have: instinct. There are artists who learn camera poses from coaches, some learn facial angles from seniors, some learn stage movement from experience. Jungkook, he seems to have a built-in radar that automatically locks the spotlight. Funny, yes, because for years he always said he was nervous, he was shy, he was still learning. But once he got on stage, it's all gone. All that remains is a superstar persona that makes the audience forget that humans can be that calm while doing 5 things at once. Jungkook's charisma is also not the hard or intimidating type. He doesn't slam the mic, doesn't have to bulge his eyes, doesn't have to expend ferocious energy to provoke a scream. Quite the opposite. He has a super clean stage style, very precise, but also intense. Every dance move feels like a form of energy sent right to the audience without exaggeration. Even his small steps on stage have weight. He can stand still and still feel like the center of gravity of the concert. And all of this is reinforced by the fact that he has incredible body control. As she dances, every detail, from the fingers of the hands to the position of the shoulders, is in sync, never empty, never half. It never looked like she was doing the choreography. She was being the choreographer. The vocals? Oh, that's another story. As the main vocalist, Jungkook brought a very lively stage style. Many idols sing live while dancing, but Jungkook has the ability to maintain sound stability even in the most grueling parts. At concerts, when heavy songs come in, other people usually play it safe or catch their breath. Jungkook gets even fiercer. There is a moment that fans often discuss, when he dances brutally on stage, but suddenly enters the high note section with a voice that remains clear, as if he just woke up, not just finished a 5-minute non-stop cardio movement. And let's not forget the Jungkook effect, a phenomenon that occurs when the camera's spotlight captures his face in close-up. Many performers are good, but few are camera-centric, aka have the ability to make every angle feel cinematic. This is why Jungkook's fan cam often crosses millions of views in a matter of hours. As soon as she looks at the camera, her expression goes from playful to focused to intense to sexy to cute, all in micro shifts that viewers sometimes don't even realize until they replay the footage. What makes Jungkook number 1 is not only his stable performance, but because he is very consistent in dominating the big stage moments. Take, for example, their stadium concerts, from Wembley to LA. Each of those giant stages hold a moment or two where Jungkook looks like he's ruling the entire stadium all by himself. Sometimes through a perfect high note, sometimes through a dance that is more alive than the choreographic recording, sometimes through small improvisations, such as a jacket throw, an accidental look, or a smile. The little thing that was not planned actually made the audience hysterical and immediately became a viral clip. But there's one thing that makes Jungkook's charisma feel both powerful and warm: his paradox. Backstage, he was often awkward, say random things, or laugh while doing silly things that make other members men-check. But when he performs, it's as if he has a switch that turns on immediately and can't be turned off until the song is over. That's why many viewers say that Jungkook has 2 modes, the shy kid and the superstar.
And this switching of the two modes is not only funny, but actually reinforces the sensation that what he puts out on stage is authentic, not far-fetched. And Jungkook's greatest charisma? It's simple. He makes the audience feel close. No matter how big the stadium is or how far away it is, the style of performance always feels personal. When he waved, it felt like he was greeting one by one people in the crowd. He shouted, "Make some noise," sound like an invitation from a friend, not an order from an idol. When he sang the soft part, the atmosphere turned intimate, and when he danced the intense part, the energy he released radiated like electricity throughout the arena. In the end, the reason Jungkook took the #1 spot was a combination of technique, aura, and instinct. He's not just an idol with a complete ability. He's an ever-present performer, never half-hearted, never passive. He's not chasing the spotlight is chasing him. And on every stage, from the small stage to the stadiums of the world, Jungkook proves one thing over and over again, that true charisma is not about who is the loudest, sexiest, or most dramatic, but who can make the whole world stop for a moment just by standing there.